Shanti Shanti Shanti. Pyayantu mamangani vak pranaschakshushrotramatho balamindriyani cha sarvani sarvam brahma upanishadam maham brahma nirakuryam mama brahma nirakarod Anirakaranamastu anirakaranam me astu tadatmani nirate yaupanishatsu dharmaste mai santu Om Shanti 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 Shruti Smriti Purananam Alayam Karunalayam Namami Bhagavatpadam Shankaram Lokashankaram Karacharyam Keshavam Badarayanam Sutra Bhashya Krutau Vande Bhagavantau Punah Punah Ishvaro Gururatmedi Murti Bheda Vibhagine Vyomavad Vyapta Dehaya Dakshina Murtaye Namaha Om Ityeda Daksharamudgitamupasita Om Ityudgayate Tasyopavyakhyanam Sayatha tatra Nadahyeta Aitadatmavidam sarvam Tat satyam sa atma tattvamasi shvedaketo iti tadhasya vijajñaviti The Bhashyakara initiated this discussion. Shariradvaya vishishtasya virodhat. When it said Tattvamasi, you are that, you are Brahman, when it is said virodhat, Shariradvaya vishishtasya. Who is Shvedaketu? The one that is endowed with the cross and the subtle bodies. How can Shvedaketu, this Jivatma, be Brahman? Or Shvedaketu Sabdvachasya Karya Karana Vishishtasya, same thing. Possessed of Karya, the gross body, Karanam, subtle body, Sat Abhedo Nasambhavati Virodhat. How can Shvedaketu be one or identical to Sat or Brahma? Because Virodhat, there is an apparent contradiction. So Bhashyakara asks, Kaf punha sau Shvedaketu tvam shabdartha. Satvam tat asi. You are that when it is said. What is meant by tvam? Tvam shabdartha. So tvam is directed to Shvedaketu. Kaf punah sau Shvedaketu. So when the teacher says tvam, you, what is meant by you? That is Shvedaketu. Yoham Shvedaketu Uddalakasya putraha. Shvedaketu, I, that one who is the son of Uddalaka. Iti Veda Atmanam. So Shvedaketu, who takes himself to be Shvedaketu, the son of Uddalaka. Then Adesham Shrutva Matva Vijñaya cha. When then the father said, येन अश्रुतं श्रुतं भवति अमतं मतं अविज्ञातं विज्ञातमिति श्रुत्वा Shutva, Matva, Vijnaya cha. Having heard that Adesha, the Upadesha from the father, as to how, by hearing what, everything is as well heard. By deliberating what, everything is as well deliberated upon. By knowing what, everything is as well known. Shutva, Matva, Vijnaya cha. Ashram, then Shvetaketu, having deliberated upon this, realized that there is something which so far never knew existed. There is something by hearing which everything is as well heard, by knowing which everything is as well known. Therefore, avijñādam, vijñādam, pitaram, papracha. The jignasa arose in Shvetaketu, therefore he asked the father to know what is unknown. Ka kathan bhagavah sadesho bhavadiri. O revered sir, how can that? What is the nature of that adesha? What's the nature of the truth? What's the nature of that entity? Knowing which everything as well becomes known. Sesha, adhikrita, shrota, manta, vijñāta. So thus, when jignasa arose in Shvetaketu, and with jignasa, the desire to know, he asked his father, Kathan Bhagavah Sadesho Bhavadeti. O revered sir, what is the nature of the Adesha? Become jignasu, become adhikari, become fit for Shrota, Manta, Vijñāta. Tejo Bannamayam, Karyakarana Sanghāna, Pravishta, Paraya Devata. नाम रूप व्याकरणाय आदर्शेव पुरुष सूर्यादेव जलादो प्रतिबिंब रूपेण सात्मानं कार्यकरणेभ्य प्रविभक्तं सद्रूपं सर्वात्मानं पराक् पितु श्रवणात् न विजज्ञौ. Shvetaketu, who in reality is none other than the Paradevata, the Supreme Deity, the Sat or Brahma. Tejo Bannamayam Karyakarana Sanghātam Pravishta. The Devata Paramatma Pravishta who entered the Karyakarana Sanghātam, this complex of the body, mind, sense, the gross and subtle body. Paraya Devata. So why did that Devata enter? Nama Rupa Vyakaranaya. For clearly manifesting the name and form. Meaning that the Paradevata can get name and form only when it enters this Karyakarana Sanghāta, otherwise not. Paradevata herself is beyond name and form. So how can that clearly manifest name and form? Only when it enters the name and form. But what's the nature of entry? Adarsheva Purusha Suryadeva Jalado Pratibimba Rupena. Like a Purusha, a person enters a mirror as a reflection. Like the sun enters a pool of water as a reflection. That's the nature of entry. So that is Shvetaketu really. Saha Atmanam Karyakarnebhya Pravibhaktam Sadrupam Sarvatmanam Naviduhu. Shvetaketu, who is Paradevata, Param Brahma, Naviduhu, he did not know. Atma Karyakarnebhya Pravibhaktam, that I am something distinct from this Karyakarana Sanghāta. Sadatmanam Sadrupam, I am the nature of Sat or existence. Sarvatmanam, I am the self of all. So Prak Pitu Shravanat Navijajnam, that's Shvetaketu, who did not know himself as Sat Brahma, as Sarvatma. So Navijajnam, Shvetaketu did not know. Then on the page 288 continuing, अथ इदानीं पित्रा प्रतिबोधितः तत्त्वमसि इति दृष्टान्तैः हेतुभिश्च तत्पितुः अस्य किल उक्तं सदेवाहमस्मीति विजज्ञौ विज्ञातवान् द्विर्वचनम् अध्यायपरिसमाप्त्यर्थम् अथ इदानीं now पित्रा प्रतिबोधितः now he was enlightened by the father, by the teacher. Tattvamasi iti pratibodhitah. He was enlightened by the father, woken up from the sleep by the father with the statement, Tattvamasi, He Shvediketu, you are that. Tvam tat asi, you are tat, that Brahman, Jagat Karanam, Ekameva Dvityam, Sadatmanam, Sarvatmanam. Iti pratibodhitah. So even though he is awake, but he is still sleeping. Yanisha sarvabhutanam. Even though we are awake as far as the waking state is concerned, but as far as the reality is concerned, sleeping. So waking and sleeping, meaning dreaming. Awake in the world of duality. So pratibodhitah. From that deep sleep or from that sleep, the beginningless sleep, the disciple has been woken up by the father. Tattvamasi, you are that. And how? Drishtantehi hetubhischa. So Tikaka says, Tattvamasi vakyena swapitir navachanadi hetubhihi. So Tattvamasi iti, you are that, iti vakyena, by the statement, you are that. Then hetubihi, drishtantehi, swapiti nam nirvachanadi hetubihi. How can I be that? How can I be Brahman? How can I be Sat? Swapiti, swam apito bhavati. So one who comes to his own true nature. One who becomes one with Sat, his own nature. You could not become one with your nature had you not been one with it to begin with. The ornament could not have become one with gold had ornament not been gold to begin with. That in deep sleep state that the Jivatma becomes one with Sat. Is a hetu, presented as the reason as to how the true nature of Jivatma is Sat, and that he is taking himself to be a dreamer, waker, dreamer, Vishwa, Tejasa, was on account of identification with this Karyakana Sanghata. So, therefore he took himself to be a waker, a dreamer. The deep sleep state, when that identification went away, dropped off, then he became one with his true nature, Sat. He always was Sat, not that in deep sleep he becomes Sat. But in waking and dream states, he entertains his notion that I am this body, I am the mind. So when the gross and the subtle bodies are, he is aware of these two in the waking and dream stage, then there is a habitual identification with them, and therefore his notion that I am Shvedaketu, the son of Uddalaka. When he falls asleep, when he goes to deep sleep, then that identification goes away. Although he does not know that I am one with Sat, but he becomes one with Sat anyway. That is called Swapiti. So Hetu, that very word Swapiti, he is sleeping. Swapiti, he is sleeping. It is so for the ignorant people, he is sleeping. For those who know the secret, they say, Swam apito bhavati. He merges into himself or becomes one with himself. So, swapi nam nirvachanadi hetubhi. So, the Shruti explains the nama swapiti as swam apito bhavati, thereby saying that he becomes one with himself, so that is his nature. Iti hetubhi yatha swamya madhu madhukrata ityadi drishtantaischa. And how the honeybees, they collect the juices from different flowers and convert them into honey, where all distinctions are gone. Where the juice does not know which tree it has come from, because what is meant by converting all the juices into honey is that all the vishesha, all distinctions go away. So even though the flowers may have different taste, the juices from different flowers would have different tastes. But honey, there is one taste. What it means is that all the distinctions of the taste are gone when these juices are converted or transformed into honey. Similarly, all distinctions are gone when one merges into oneself in the state of deep sleep. Drishtantaischa pratibodhitah. So Father give many reasonings and illustrations, and that's how the son is made to see that I am Brahman. So pratibodhitah tattvamasi drishtandai hetubhischa tat pituhu asya kaloktam taddas taddhasya vijagno tadha asya. What is asya? Asya pituhu, of the father. So this statement of his father, tattvamasi, you are that, kiloktam, then vijagno. So that statement of the father, he understood. How did he understand? Sadeva aham asmi iti vijagno. Sadeva aham asmi, I am that Sat, I am existence, I am Brahman. This is how vijagno, this is how he saw himself when he was woken up. So father woke him up with a statement, hey, you are Sat, you are Brahman. So he woke up, I am Brahman. Iti vijagno. Vijñātavān tadhāsya vijñāveti vijñāveti. So dvirvachanam adhyaya parisamaptyartham vijñāveti vijñāveti, that dvirvachanam, the repetition there is adhyaya parisamaptyartham, for the conclusion of adhyaya or this chapter. This upadesha. Then continuing, Anandagiri says, 14th line, Ajñādartha prakāsanam mānaphalam tasya svaprakāse brahmani na upapattehi iti manmana chodayati. All this comes from Narayana Puriyam, yeah? So Anandagiri restates what Narendra Puri has said. Swayam prakāsamane प्रकाश अतिशयस्य प्रमाण फलस्य असंभवे अध्यस्य व्यावृत्ति प्रमाण फलम भविष्यति. That's what Narendra Puri said. Here that sentence is broken up. Ajñānārtha prakāsanam mānaphalam. Mānaphalam. What is the phalam? What is the outcome of the pramana pravritti? When you bring into operation the pramana, the valid means of knowledge, such as in this case your organs of hearing. Man is pramana phalam. Phalam is the cognition or the knowledge that takes place. Ajñānārtha prakāśanam. Ajnata Jnapakam Pramanam. Pramanam, or the valid means of knowledge, is that which makes us know what is unknown. But tasya swaprakasya brahmani. Brahmani swaprakasam, self-effulgent, meaning always known. What is self-effulgent? That which can never be unknown. Meaning that Brahman does not fall in the category of Ajnatam. Pramanam, the means of knowledge, is defined as Ajnata Jnapakam, that which makes us know something that is unknown so far. And that applies to all the things that are Jada or Paraprakashyam, all the objects of the world which are Jada, which are not self-effulgent, which cannot reveal themselves, have to be revealed, have to be illumined. So that which cannot reveal itself has to be illumined, then alone it will be known. So all the objects of the world fall in that category because all of them are Jada, inert, Paraprakasha, not self-revealing, not self-effulgent. Therefore they have to be illumined by the light of consciousness. And that can happen only when a pramana prayoga, when you bring into operation the valid means of knowledge. Thus, for listening to these words, you must bring into operation the organ of hearing, which is a valid means of knowledge, pramanam, for the knowledge of words. Then consciousness riding on the mind with the organ of hearing contacts these words and illumines the words, and that's how the words are known. A corresponding vritti or the thought form takes place, and that's how the words are known. So these words can be heard only when they are illumined by consciousness through the pramanam, the means of knowledge, in this case the organ of hearing. Because the words are unknown to you, and the pramanam, the organ of hearing, makes them known. But how about Brahman? Because these words are not self-effulgent. Words are inert. They cannot reveal themselves. Meaning that if you decide not to hear these words, then even though the words may fall on your ears, you may plug or you may just withdraw your mind. In which case, the words will not be. If words were self-effulgent, you will know them. You have no choice in knowing something that is self-effulgent. But words are not. So the objects of the world are not. And therefore, pramana, or the means of knowledge, have the right application. Ajnata jnapakam pramanam. So what is unknown? What is anadhigatam, which has not been known, to reveal that is the pravritti or the purpose of pramanam, the means of knowledge. Svaprakashe brahmani na upattehi. But Brahman is svaprakasha. So the use of pramanam is for illumining what is unknown. But Brahman is svaprakasham, self-effulgent, self-revealing, and therefore it cannot fall in the category of unknown. It is not jadam, it is not paraprakasham, self-effulgent. Therefore, this tattvamasi shabda is the pramanam here. So what pramana are you talking about? Shabda. What shabda? Vakya tattvamasi. That Mahavakya is the pramanam revealing the true nature of the self. Brahmani na upattehi. Even Shabda, pramanam has no upatti, is not tenable that it has application or scope with reference to revealing Brahman. Brahman is Praman is to reveal the things. But Brahman is self-revealing, therefore, even words also, what purpose do they serve? Iti manmana chodayati. So someone who thinks this way, he raises an objection. Iti manmana chodayati. So someone who thinks this way, he raises an objection. Iti manmana chodayati. So someone who thinks this way, he raises an objection. Iti manmana chodayati. So someone who thinks this way, he raises an objection. Iti manmana chodayati. So someone who thinks this way, he raises an objection. Kim punah iti. Bhashyakara says, Kim punah atra shashthe vakya pramanena janitam phalam. Or as Abhinava Narayananandendra Saraswati said in the line 23, Evam yatha vyakhyataritya tattvamasi vakyam advitya akhandatmanishtam iti uktam. Evam yatha vyakhyataritya, in the manner in which the Mahavakya Tattvamasi has been explained in here by the Bhashyakara. Tattvamasi vakyam, this Mahavakya Tattvamasi, that the word is Advitiya Akhandatma Nishthamidiyuktam. So Tattvamasi, that Upadesha, it resolves where? What does it reveal? Advitiya Akhandatma Nishtham. It reveals Atma, the self, Akhanda, undivided, Advitiya, non-dual. So non-dual, undivided, one, homogeneous, limitless self is what this Mahavakya reveals. Tat kechana niyoganishtam iti ahuhu. Now grammatically, tattvamasi, as will be explained, where there is samanadikaranyam between tat and tvam, so samanadikaranyam means that they are in the same vibhakti. But the two words placed in same vibhakti also, that prayoga or that application occurs in other cases also. Like Visheshana, Vishesha Sambandha, Neelam, Mahat Sugandhi Utpalam. That is, lotus is blue, big, fragrant. So Neelam, Mahat, Sugandhi, all of them are in the same cases, Utpalam, as a lotus. There is also Samadhikaranyam. What's the relationship? Visheshana, Visheshya. Neelam, Mahat, Sugandhi are Visheshanas, they are adjectives. Utpalam, the lotus, Visheshya, that which is qualified. And similarly, variety of interpretations are possible of a sentence where the words are placed in Samadhikaranyam. So one of them, tat kechit niyoganishtamiti ahuhu. Some people say that tattvamasi does not reveal the identity between tat and tvam, but on the other hand, this vakya is meant to enjoin upasana, meditation, that may we meditate tvam as tat. So may we meditate Atma as Brahman. That's called Niyoga. Niyoga means what? An injunction. It in fact directs you, enjoins you to do something. Iti ahuhu. That's how some people interpret this statement. Tan nirakaranaya vicharam arabhate. For refuting this conclusion, that this vakya prescribes upasana, meditation. Vedanta then says that it is a statement which reveals the truth, it reveals only what is a reality. That's what Pramanam does. Pramanam reveals the truth, reveals the thing as it is. Others say that no, it is for prescribing or enjoining meditation. Tandirakarana. Therefore, to refute that opinion, Arabhate Vicharam, Bhashyakara initiates a deliberation. Kim punahiti. Bhashyakara says. So, we read that Kim punatra shashthe vakya pramanena janitam phalam. Atra shashthe, in the 6th chapter, vakya pramanena janitam phalam atra iti atra atmaniti sambandha. So atra atmani, here in the nature of self, in the subject matter of self, shashthe vakya pramanena janidam phalam. So what is the phalam? Vakya pramanena janidam. This tattvamasi is vakyam. It's called pramanam. So this is pramanam of nature of vakya. So pratyaksha, anumana, upamana, all these are pramanam. Shabda also is pramanam. Call it shabda, call it vakya. So vakya pramanena. Pramanam, the means of knowledge of the nature of mahavakya tattvamasi. Kim janidam phalam. What phalam? In fact, so what does it convey? Does it convey the identity between tat and tvam? Or does it convey the idea of meditation of tat upon tvam? What does this vakya convey? Meaning, when you hear this vakya, what will happen to you? What kind of knowledge will you get? Is this vakya meant to produce a knowledge of identity between tat and tvam? Or this vakya is meant to produce this understanding that, hey, I am asked to meditate upon myself as tat? What should be phalam? What should this sentence communicate? So says Anandagiri, स्वप्रकाशे प्रकाश अतिशयस्य मानफलस्य असंभवेपि अध्यस्य व्यावृत्ति तत्फलम भविष्यति उत्तरमाह. So the pramanam functions differently in case of Brahman, understand. Even Shabda also is pramanam, ajnata jnapakam pramanam. When in words, for example, when we describe something which you have never seen, then you get an idea of that entity which is ajnata. You did not know, now you know. So that is the usual definition of pramanam. That does not apply in case of Brahman. Says, स्वप्रकाशे प्रकाश अतिशयस्य मानफलस्य असंभवेपि. So manafalasya, the result of pramanam is prakasha atishayasya. It should illumine. So illumining what was unillumined is not applicable in case of Brahman, which is swaprakasham, self-effulgent. So that is true. That here the pramanam in the Upanishad also does not reveal something which was not revealed so far, but adhyastya vyavrutti tat phalam bhavishyati. Here the words only vyavrutti, only negate adhyastam, what is superimposed, what is wrong. So therefore, ajnana nivrutti, dispelling of ignorance is what this one does. Not revealing what is unrevealed so far, but dispelling the ignorance covering it. As you know, a pramanam, so a thing is known in two steps. First is avarana is removed, and second is the object is illumined. And so vritti vyapti, phala vyapti. For example, when a pot is known, there, what does the pramanam do? My eyes, perception, what do they do? So when the mind with the eyes contacts this pot, then the avaranam, the ignorance on the pot is removed. And the consciousness reflected in that vritti, chidavasa, illumines the pot. So, In ordinary usage of pramanam, these two steps are involved. Vritti vyapti, first of all the mind assumes the form of the object. Phala vyapti, and the consciousness reflected in the vritti illumines the object. In case of Brahman or Atma is self-effulgent, you do not need the phala vyapti, you do not need to illumine the Atma. All you need to know is vritti vyapti, meaning that only the veil of ignorance has to be removed. Because Brahman is self-effulgent. So that is the difference. So adhyastha vyavritti, he call it the dispelling or removing the negating, adhyas superimpose or removing the ignorance is the phalam bhavishyati, is uttaramaha. कर्तृत्व और तत्र तावत सिद्धांत पक्षमाह. In reply, first Bhashyakara says Siddhanta, then Purva Paksha. Because phalam can be both ways. This sentence is interpreted as revealing the identity of Viditatmananda, that is Siddhanta. The sentence prescribes meditation is a Purva Paksha. So Bhashyakara first explains Siddhanta and then refutes the Purva Paksha. So tatra tavat Siddhanta Pakshamaha Atmaniti. So Bhashyakara says, Atmani Kartrutva Bhoktrutvayoho Adhikritatva Vijnana Nivrittihi Asya Phalam Yam Vayam Avochama Tvam Shabdavachyamartham Shrotum Mantum Cha Adhikritam Avijñāta Vijñāna Phalartham. Atmani Kartrutva Bhoktrutvayoho. Upon Atma the self, these ideas are superimposed. Kartrutva Bhoktrutva. Yenam Veti Hantaram Yaschainam Manyate Hatam Ubhautau Navijanitaha Nayam Hantina Hanyate. Yenam Veti Hantaram, the one who takes the Atma self as Hanta, as the killer. That is superimposing Kartrutva. Killer means what? The agent of act of killing. So Kartrutva. Yes Chainam Manyate Hatam. And the other person who thinks that I am Hatam, I am killed. So he superimposes Bhoktrutva upon himself as the object of karma, the subject of karma, or the ashraya of karma and vishaya of karma. Karma is action, has an ashraya, has a locus and vishaya, where it applies. So locus is karta and where it applies bhokta. So ubhautavna vijanitah Nayam Hantin Hanyate. Bhashyakara, both these fellows do not know. So one who takes himself as Hanta or Karta, other who takes himself as Hata or Karma or Bhokta. Ubhautau na vijanitah. Both of them do not know why. Nayam hantina hanyate. Atma neither kills nor is killed. He is neither karta nor bhokta. That's what Lord Krishna said there. So Atmani kartrutva bhoktrutvayoho adhikrutatva vijnana nivrittihi. Adhikrutatva. See the tika. कर्तृत्व भोक्तृत्वयोः सतोः यत् अधिकृतत्व ज्ञानम्. See, when I look upon myself as karta or a doer, then there arises in me this impulse, I must do this. So when I am a doer, then the moment I see that something needs my attention, something needs my response, right away arises in me this idea that I must do this. Or when I take myself a bhokta, then again, when somebody does something, in me arises the idea that this has been done to me. So adhikritatva. Who am I? I am fit for a kartrutvam, for doing as well as for experiencing. I am karta, I am bhokta. Yat adhikritatva jnanam kartrutvadi aropurukam adhikritatva aropaha. That I first of all superimpose upon myself the idea of doership, and then I claim I am a doer. I superimpose upon myself the idea of enjoyership, and then I feel that I am the enjoyer, adhikari. Tan nivrittihi. So I look upon myself as karta and bhokta, tan nivrittihi, dispelling that, removing those notions, which are result of superimposition, which is the result of ignorance. The टीका से यद्वा कर्तृत्वमिति कर्म उच्यते भोक्तृत्वमिति भोग है तयोः अधिकृतत्व ज्ञानमित्यर्थ है. Or I am adhikari for karma, I am adhikari for bhoga. You are not adhikari for kartrutvam, you are a karta. So kartrutva, bhoktritva, adhikritatva. Well, you can say I am fit or qualified, or I am expected to do this, and I will become the bhokta, the enjoyer. Or kartrutva karma, I am fit for this particular action. Bhoga, as a result, I will experience a certain outcome. So when will a person perform agnihotradi karma? Only when he thinks that I am fit for performing that karma. And why should he perform that karma? So that as a result of this, I will experience pleasure in the heaven. Therefore, one looks upon himself as adhikari for karma, adhikari for experiencing the result. Karta and bhokta. Nivritti tasya phalam. So Bhashyakara says that adhyaropa nivritti, or it means what? Nivritti, or the cessation of the notions born of superimposition. Adhikritatva. So this, the granthi, the notions of the complexes that Shvetagata entertains, that I am a doer, I am an enjoyer, which is what brings all the sorrow into him. And so, nivritti, the elimination or cessation of those notions, I am karta, I am bhokta, that is the phalam, that is the outcome of the pramanam in the form of this Mahavakya, Tattvamasi. Then yam vayam avocama tvam sabdavacyamartham shrutam mantum chadhikritam avijnata vijnana phalartham. What kind of superimposition was there? Yam vayam avocama. Remember we told you? So Bhashyakara had first raised the question. Kaf punarasau svetaketu tvam sabdartha. What is meant by the word Svetitvam, which is Svetaketu? Yuham Svetaketu Uddarakasya putraha. I am Svetaketu, who is the son of Uddaraka. So all of this is result of superimposition. So Bhashyakara said that this superimposition of kartrutva, bhoktritva, and therefore the notions or the complexes that arose in Svetaketu made him think like this before. Before he was enlightened by his father, what he thought were all the notions born of the kartrutva bhoktrutva. Aham Shvetaketu Uddalakasya putraha. I am Shvetaketu, son of Uddalaka. Adesham Shrutva. Then I am being addressed by my father, who told me there is something knowing which everything becomes known. Then he asked, how can that, what is the nature of that Adesha? That's Shvetaketu. So that person who thinks in this manner about himself, which is the result of superimposing kartrutva and bhoktrutva upon himself. So vayam avochama tvam shabdavacham artham shrotum mantum cha adhikritam. Then Shvetaketu requested his father, Kathan Bhagava Sadesha Bhavadeti. O revered sir, what's the nature of the Adesha or Upadesha? Then became what? Adhikrita, Shrota, Manta, Vijnata. So Shrotum, Mantum cha Adhikritam. Shvetaketu, who became fit for hearing and deliberating. And Vijnatam, so Vijnatum, so Avijnata, Vijnana Phalartham. For knowing that which was unknown. So these notes, to eliminate or dispel these notions, is the purpose of this teaching Tattvamasi. That's all that is required. Shvetaketu is Brahman as it is. That being the case, nothing needs to be done, nothing needs to be acquired, nothing needs to change, except something needs to be let go, that's all. So all that Shvetaketu is required is to let go. Let go what? Just notion that I am Shvetaketu. I am son of Uddalaka. I am Ajnana, I am ignorant. That I have to know. So these are the various notions that Shvetaketu entertains about himself, which notions are born of superimposing the general kartrutva, bhoktrutva, the doership, enjoyership upon the self. So this is Manaphalam. This is Anandagiri. So Shrotum Mantum cha Adhikritam Avijnata Vijnana Phalartham. Anandagiri explains like that. Ashrutasya Shravanaya Amatasya Mananaya Avijnatasya Vijnana Phalasiddhe cha Adhikritam. Who is Shvetaketu? Who looks upon himself Adhikari as fit for what? Ashrutasya Shravanaya, that I should hear what has been unheard of. Amatasya Mananaya, I must deliberate upon what has not been deliberated upon. Avijnatasya Vijnana Phalasiddhe. So Avijnata Vijnana Phalartham, Bhashyakara said. So Avijnatasya Vijnana Phalasiddhe. And one adhikritam, one became fit for knowing that which was unknown. Yamartham tvam padavacham avochama. For which we describe what is the meaning of the word tvam, the vachyartha. So word tvam is vachyartha and lakshyartha. What is the vachyartha? Shvetaketuhu uddalakasya putraha. So shrotum mantum vijnatum cha adhikritaha. So this notion Shvetaketu entertained. Yamartham tvam padavacham avochama. To bring out what superimposition does, what kind of notion superimposition produces, to bring it out, we describe Shvetaketu, which was the meaning, vachyartha of the word tvam. Tasya swatmani kriyakartatve phalabhoktrutve cha yan mithya eva adhikritatva vijnanam. Of that Shvetaketu, who looked upon himself as an aspirant, what do you know, what is unknown of him. Swatmani kriyakartrutve phalabhoktrutve cha. So kartrutvam, kriyakartrutvam, that I am the agent of doing this action. Phalabhoktrutvam, I am the agent of experiencing this result. Mithya adhikritatva vijnanam. That I am the doer, I am the enjoyer, this is mithya. So, this is mithya jnanam. This is knowledge or the notion born of adhyasa. Tad nivrutti mana phalam. So, phalam mana phalam. The result of the application of this Shabda Pramanam Tattvamasi is nivrutti, is the elimination of the various notions arising from superimposition of the Karyakarana Sanghata upon the Atma. Or going to line 21, that same Vakya is explained, avijnata vijnana phalartham. Anandagiri explained it one way, this Tikakar also explains, avijnata jnana lakshana phalartham shrutum mantum cha adhikritam. That's how it is. So either shrutum mantum vijnatam adhikritam or vijnanartham shrutum mantum cha adhikritam. So vijnata jnana lakshana phalartham. So for phalam, the result in the form of the knowledge of Brahman which was unknown. Shrutum mantum cha adhikritam. Shvetaketu, who was adhikari, became fit for listening and mananam, reflection. Yam tvam shabdavacham artham avochama, which we described earlier as a vachyam, the literal meaning of the word tvam. What? Yoham Shvetaketu ityadina. So Bhashyakara says what we explained, that I am Shvetaketu, son of Uddalaka. So that is the tvam pada vachyam, the literal meaning of the word tvam, or you, as Shvetaketu would understand. Tasya atmani kartratvadi jnana nivrutti phalamidi purvena anvaya. Of that Shvetaketu atmani kartratvadi, the notions of the doership, enjoyership that are superimposed on the Atma, the dispelling of those notions is the purpose of this Mahavakya. The Tikakara continues, Kartrutvadi Aropam Pradarshayan Tasya Vakyajanya Jnanena Nivrittim Upapadayati. So Kartrutvadi Aropam Pradarshayan. So just by describing Shvetaketu, the fact that Shvetaketu asked Father, Katham Bhagavaha Sadesha Bhavati, O revered sir, what is the nature of that Adesha? He reveals what he is. He reveals himself as an ignorant person. Superimposes idea upon himself that he wants to know something that is unknown. So he looks upon himself as fit for knowing what is unknown. And how can that happen? Only when he hears Shruta Shravanam, Mananam, Nidhyasanam. So further he looks upon himself as fit for listening, Manam, reflection, Nidhyasana, meditation. So that is all Kartrutva, Shrutam, Mantum, Vijñātum, Kartrutva. For what? Avijñāta Vijñāna Phalartham, so that I will gain the knowledge of what is unknown. That's it, Bhoktrutvam. Kartrutvam and Bhoktrutvam. So how did Shvetaketu specifically superimpose Kartrutva on himself? By looking upon himself as Shrota, Manta, Vijñāta. Now I am fit for listening to a teacher, reflecting upon what the teacher will say, and meditating upon that. For what? So that's Kartrutvam. For what? So avijñāta vijñāna phaladam, so that I will get the result in the form of knowing what is unknown. That's Bhoktrutvam. So Kartrutvadi Aropam. This way Bhashyakara explained how Shvetaketu was superimposing Kartrutva and Bhoktrutva upon himself. In the description that Bhashyakara gave of Shvetaketu, which description came from the description of this text. But how in the way Shvetaketu presented himself before his father, how he inquired about knowing what was unknown, how he set about listening to the teacher, etc., showed that he superimposed upon himself kartrutva and bhoktrutva. So kartrutvadi आरोपम प्रदर्शयन् तस्य वाक्यजन्य ज्ञानेन निवृत्तिम उपपादयति. How this aropa superimposition of the kartrutva bhoktrutva, how it was removed, eliminated by the upadesha of the Mahavakya. Upapadayati, Bhashyakara shows that with reasoning, prag ityadina. Or as Anandagiri said, Yathoktam manaphalam eva prapanchayati. So avijnata vijnana phalartham. Manaphalam. Avijnata vijnana phalartham. For the phala of the nature of knowledge of what is unknown. That is manaphalam. That's the result of the pramana pravritti. So prapanchayati, Bhashyakara explains that in detail. Prakchayati. So Bhashyakara says, Prakcha etasmad vijnanat ahamevam karishyami agnihotrādīni karmāni ahamatradhikritah esham ca karmanam phalam ihamutra ca bhokshye कृतेषु वा कर्मसु कृतकर्तव्यस्याम् इत्येवं कर्तृत्व भोक्तृत्वयोः अधिकृतोऽस्मि इति आत्मनि यद्विज्ञानम् अभूत् तस्य यत्सत् जगतो मूलम् एकमेवाद्वितीयं तत्त्वमसि इति अनेन वाक्येन प्रतिबुद्धस्य निवर्तते विरोधात्. So describing Shvetaketu, now Bhashyakara comes to an ordinary person, see, because Kartrutva, Bhoktrutva, as we understand, is not very evident in Shvetaketu. What is Kartrutva? Bhashyakara said, Pracha etasmad vijnanat, before this knowledge, Aham Brahmasmi, I am Sat. Aham evam karishyami agnihotrādīni karmāni. What the person thinks? I will perform this Agnihotra karma, etc. Karma in the form of Agnihotra and others, I will perform. When will you perform? Aham atra adhikrutah. I am fit or qualified to perform these actions. Kartrutva. Isham ca karmanam phalam ihamutra ca bhokshye. And having performed these rituals, I will experience the phala, the result, here and hereafter. So this is Kartrutva, Bhoktrutva in the conventional sense. Kartrutva, the sense of doership of performing rituals. Bhoktrutva, the sense of enjoyership in experiencing the result of those rituals. That was not in Shvetaketu did. So that Bhashyakara described Kartrutva, Bhoktrutva, Shvetaketu as Shrotum, Mantum, Vijñātum, Adhikrita. So Bhashyakara used the word Adhikrita. So how Bhashyakara describes Shvetaketu? To illustrate, to show how the ideas of Kartrutva, Bhoktrutva were contained, were implied in what Shvetaketu in the way Shvetaketu presented himself, the ideas of Kartrutva, Bhoktrutva were implied, were contained. In case of Shvetaketu, it is Shrutam, Mantum, Vijñātam and Avijñāta, Jnana Phalartham. In case of an ordinary person, I will perform these rituals. I am qualified to perform those rituals. As a result of performing the rituals, I will gain the happiness of pleasures here and hereafter. That's the traditional kartatva bhoktritva. Says the Tika in the line 24, Mimamsakamate nitya karmasu phala abhavat tatra bhoktritva adhyasamaha. Mimamsakapale nitya karmasu phala abhavat. So when you perform nitya karma, agnihotra, etc., which is enjoined duty. So these are the obligatory duties. Like every day you must perform the Brahma Yajna, perform the Deva Yajna. So you must offer ahutis, that is Agnihotra, and that is the Nitya Karma, which is enjoined the obligatory duties upon you. For that, Phalatva, so Nitya Phala Abhavat. So Prabha Mimamsaka says that in Nitya Karma there is no phalam. So Bhoktrutva, how will it come? So when you perform Nitya Karma such as Agnihotradi, the Kartrutva is there, but Bhoktrutva is not there because the Mimamsaka says that Nitya Karma does not produce any result. So Tatra Bhoktrutva. So how does Bhoktrutva come in case of the Nitya Karma? So Bhashyaka said, Kruteshu va karmasu kruta kartavyasyam. Kruteshu va karmasu. When I will perform my enjoined duties, kruta kartavyasyam, I will be relieved of the sense of obligation. So that also, even though by performing duty you do not get any result in terms of heaven, etc., according to them, but even when a person performs obligatory duty, this is I have to cook today, I have to go to work, then by going to work, I would have performed my duty. By cooking, I would have performed my duty. By doing my regular chores, I would be relieved of the burden of having to do them. So some bhoktrutva is there. Even though the person will not be rewarded by cooking, it's a daily duty. You know, your wife, so that's what your job is. Husband, your job is to provide. So you don't get any reward for that, no certificates are given. But still, the person has satisfaction. I have done what I needed to do. I have done what I was required to do. So that satisfaction that a person gets within himself is the phalam. So that is bhoktrutva. So says the Tika, prabhakaramate vaidikasya niyogasyeva nitya karmasu phalattvangikarat. Then Prabhakara also is a school of Mimamsakas. Mimamsakas in general believe that Nitya Karma does not give rise to any phalam. And how do the Prabhakara explain? Prabhakara say that Vaidikasya Niyogasyeva Nitya Karmasu Phalattvangikarat. That the Vedas enjoin, do this and do that, itself is phala. So Nitya Karmasu Phalattvangikarat. For Kamya Karma, there is a phalam. For Nitya Karma, the Veda says that, what is it? Brahmano, Yajeta, the Brahmana should perform this. Or, no, not that. See, no, I'm talking about the daily duties. Like Brahma Yajna, like Deva Yajna, which is enjoined upon that person. So, in that, what is the result? He says it's very enjoining, it itself is a result. That's what they say. So, Niyogasyeva Nitya Karmasu Phalattvangikarat. Because Nitya Karma, Niyoga, do this, itself is phalam. That's what they say. One is that I will have satisfaction that I have done my duty. That's the phalam. Prabhakara says that you do this. That's what Vedas tell you. That itself is a phalam. Because Vedas are telling you that. Tasyeva kartavya shabdena abhidhanat. So kruta kartavyasyam. So Prabhakara, kartavya means that niyoga. For Mimamsakas, kartavya means the action that is to be performed. The sense of obligation. This follows as kartavya means that you are enjoined, that enjoyment itself is kartavya. So tasyeva kartavya abhinanat tas-siddhireva bhogaha iti bhavaha. That's all. So Prabhakara will say that the fact that you are told to do itself is the outcome. Other Mimamsakas like Bhatta say that the satisfaction I will have of having done what I needed to do is the phalam. Prabhakara says that the fact that you are told to do itself is phalam. It's all technical, but basically in the Nitya Karma also some bhoktrutva is there. That's the idea. Technically, Nitya Karma does not produce any results. So kartrutva can be there while performing Nitya Karma. How can there be bhoktrutva when Nitya Karma does not produce any result? So Bhashyakara shows the result in a different way, that he has satisfaction of having done what was to be done. Or he is told to do this, and that therefore that I became adhikari for the Veda to tell me do this, that itself is the outcome. So bhoktrutva is involved with Nitya Karma also. That's the idea. Iti evam kartrutva bhoktrutvayo adhikrutosmi further. Evam, in this manner, kartrutva bhoktrutvayo adhikrutosmi, I am adhikari, I am fit, I am obliged, or I am fit for kartrutva bhoktrutva. Meaning I am karta, I am bhokta, iti atmani yad vijnanam abhut. So that vijnanam, or the notion that a person entertained that I am the doer, I am the enjoyer. Tasya, of that, so yat sat jagataha moolam ekamevatvir tattvamasi. He Shvedaketu, you are that what? Yat sat jagataha moolam. That sat or existence which is the moolam, that very cause, upadana karanam of jagat, of the creation. That you are jagat karanam, you are the upadana karanam, you are the self of all, you are limitless. Iti vakyena pratibuddhasya nivartate. So all these notions that the person was entertaining when he was ignorant, when he is enlightened, all those notions that I was a karta, bhokta, all of these are dispelled. That is the manaphalam. अहम एवत्र अधिकृतश्च इति चकारस्य संबंधः. So प्राक्-चेतस विज्ञानात् अहम एवं करिष्यामि etc. अहम अत्र अधिकृतः. That's where that अहम एव अत्र अधिकृतश्च इति चकारस्य संबंधः. The evakara also is to be connected. Although it is अहम एवं करिष्यामि, but anyway, it's अहम एव, wherever that eva comes from. Cha is prakcha, so that chakara is to be connected that way. Tasya yad vijnanahu tasya. Tasya iti agnyasya ityad, of this ignorant person, when he is enlightened that you are Brahman, which is Jagat Karanam, then that notion becomes dispelled, virodha, because of the very contradiction between what he is taught and what he took himself to be. Okay, we'll continue tomorrow. Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayanam Sutrabhashyakritau Vande Bhagavantau Punah Punah. Ishvaro Gururatmedi Murti Bheda Vibhagine Vyomavad Dakshinamurtaye Namaha. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha.